Now to say she can't choke, she don't know what to do.
She's gotta go. Bye. I know that you love this flow. We just chillin', we just villains. We just chillin', we some villains.
I love it up, get the ammo and I stick it up. I grab shots on the top of shots, I bust the clip and I let it dip. I make it poop, make it explode. Touch your toes, hit your nose. Can you touch your toes? Simon telling you what to do. Running my commando, hit in a bando, trap in a bando, not like a Rambo. Rocky, Sylvester, Solo.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Port. I am your host, Brian Barnaby, and I am joined by Grasso. What's going on, bro?
What's up, Barnes? How you doing?
Good to be back. Another episode. Finally, the NBA is coming back tonight.
Yes,
so excited
we got
for
basketball
that.
back.
And as always, joined by our super producer, Mike. No shades today. What's going on?
Hold on.
Wait.
I actually just
You
realized
just
that.
reminded him. Way to go, Barnes. Way to go.
We got
He's
him,
trying
we
to
got
steal
him.
mine now.
I have to wear these until Tony gets back because they're his.
There we go.
So Tony went to Texas without his sunglasses?
No, he has like 10 pairs.
Okay.
All
That
right.
makes
All right.
sense.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
He is a sunglass connoisseur.
Connoisseur.
That's the word.
And so, like I was saying, NBA back tonight, and only 2 games on the schedule, and we were kind
He
of
chose the shittiest games to come back with.
Yeah,
Yeah, love it. Great
some
job,
weak
NBA.
games. I just don't really
Trash.
understand it. I mean, I'm sure there's something with travel and TV, but really it just doesn't make sense to me that they went with only 2 games.
Yeah, and then they have the whole rest of the league is playing tomorrow night.
You know what I
So-
think they did? I think they were like, these are the 4 trash teams. All the other good teams get a rest.
Look, I think maybe they're punishing the Wizards for not trading Bradley Beal yet.
Yes. Yes.
But
The other teams, I don't know.
yeah, and we'll get into the game. So I mean, the first one, like you said, the Wizards, they come in 14-20, and they're traveling to Memphis, who finished off the first half at 500 at 16-16. Wizards have been real hot, after that terrible start, 7-3 in their last 10 games, but really just doing it by, bombing threes, outscoring the other teams. Bradley Beal, like you mentioned, I mean, he's having a really good year, 32.9 points per game, leads the NBA. And after a terrible start, Russell Westbrook has actually picked it up of recent.
Yeah, and when both those guys are, all-stars. So
Right.
if they're both playing good, your team's bound to win some games, but especially guys like Davis Bertans, he's shooting like 50% from three.
It seems like every time I see their games, he's making a 3.
Yeah, and they're like you said,
He got paid.
he did get paid to only shoot. That's all he ever has to do. But
Spurs product.
And he got off to a terrible start.
did.
And then I think he had this one game, he was 8-9 from 3, and he just hasn't looked back since then.
yeah, he's finally making good on that contract.
I love that if you go to the Spurs, it's just a guarantee you'll be in the league and you'll get paid eventually.
Right?
Yeah, and it seems like they get all those international players too. I mean, they must
Pop's
have a
got
really
the hookup.
scouting department over there.
Yeah.
So the Wizards, I mean, we've seen them, pick it up. Like I said, they definitely could make the playoffs, but I kind of think they should look to move whoever they can just to get some future assets. I mean, what do you think about that?
I just think they're kind of like stuck in the middle here.
Mhm.
They got Bradley Beal, who's in the beginning of the prime of his career,
Sad.
and they have a bunch of bums. So their team's trash. Do you trade Beal and rebuild, or do you try and build around Beal, knowing you don't have all that much time left? Beal's not a player you build around right now at this point.
They
in his
messed up
career.
thinking Wall was the guy when they had Beal when he was young.
Yeah.
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 Well, I mean, to be fair,
No offense to Wall. Like, he was great.
to be fair, no one expected Bradley Beal to be this good.
No.
I mean,
No.
But I think
professionals.
Beal's going to want out of there by the end of the year at least.
Yeah.
Or in the off season.
We'll see what happens with like how they end. If
Yeah.
it's a bad ending and they just struggle down the stretch, and then like the Hornets get in, the Knicks get in, right?
Yeah.
These teams that have been just like bad.
trash.
and they're out again, like, he's not gonna like.
He could
that.
not ask for a trade.
Yeah.
At that point, like,
Yeah.
everyone would be telling him to ask for a trade.
And the tough part is too, Westbrook has been playing like a lot better. Like he would be tradable if he wasn't making $40 million. But it's just with that, you're not gonna be able to trade him.
Maybe they could talk to him, work something out, buyout situation.
I mean, we've seen some crazy buyouts, with Blake Griffin and stuff. So it'll be interesting to see. And I think even if they could trade a couple of those spare parts, Bertans, Lopez, Mo Wagner, Thomas Bryant, just to get some type of future assets, because you're going to need a lot of help going forward.
Yeah, and I think those are the kind of guys that you're on the fence with. Is like, are we trying to win right now? Because if we are, we keep all those guys. But I mean, let's be realistic. They're not winning. So I mean, they should trade those guys.
Yeah.
But then you're stuck with even more bums around Bradley Beal, and now he's definitely going to want to go. I mean, I think they're going to try and win as much as possible, keep these guys just so Bradley Beal is like, oh, we made the playoffs this year, even though we were an 8 seed. Maybe I'll stay. It'll get better. Yeah. I think they're going to they're going to exhaust everything they can just to try and keep him around, keep him happy. Ultimately, I think they're going to fail.
Right. But yeah, they'll do their best. And I think a big part of that is Hachimura, the 2019 ninth overall pick, 12.5 points per game, 5.4 rebounds, but we've seen him, make some improvement this year. So I think it's important to develop him because I think he can be a really good player down the road.
Yeah, we saw he's a versatile player. He can guard probably 3 or 4 positions easily. We saw him at Gonzaga, where he went to college. He did a lot for that team. This is the kind of guy you want on your team. He's 6'8", 230.
Right, and not a selfish player. Good fundamentals. So I think that's a guy that's going to be on the roster for a long time, and that they should try to build on.
Maybe they should look into adding a guy like Ben Simmons.
Hey, I mean,
you want him out.
And then, on the other side of things, the Grizzlies and these teams actually played back on March 2nd. Grizzlies won 125-111. And you look at the Grizzlies, like we said, 500. Ja had a really good close to the first half, back-to-back 35-point games. And this was right after we were talking, he really needs to take more of an initiative, score more. So he's done that. And they're also saying Jared Jackson, while they haven't given an exact date,
he's coming back.
He's back sooner than later. So I think that should help the Grizzlies a lot moving forward.
Yeah, I think the overall goal for Jaren Jackson was to get him back for right after the All-Star break, but they're not bringing him right back. But if we see him within the next couple weeks, that's a huge gain for the Grizzlies. He's their second best scorer besides Morant.
And player, obviously.
Yeah. And player, yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's important, just to really get them to mesh, good together, and because those are going to be your future guys, going forward. And for a team, that's beaten everyone's expectations, and some of the other role players have, done well at times. Like tonight, Grayson Allen's out, but he's actually done pretty well after seeming like he was a bust. Coming out of Duke originally.
I didn't think Grayson Allen would last in this league at all, but here he is. He's found the right home.
JPO loves him.
And I believe he hasn't been fined for tripping yet, after all those incidents.
Oh, he learned he's not doing that in the NBA. He'll get stomped on.
Well, apparently he does it to Trae Young. Trae Young likes to come at him.
But
I think tonight, though, the Grizzlies, I think this is an important game for them to come out and stomp the Wizards and show this, start the second half of the season off right. Because they're going to be fighting for a playoff spot.
Right. You need everyone.
They're young. They need everyone they can get. Just come out, stomp on the Wizards right now, and just bring that momentum, carry it towards the playoffs.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And I'd agree. I think, especially, Ja, after getting a nice rest, playing better, going into the break, I think they could win with a similar score to what they did the first time. So I'm expecting the Grizzlies, and it's just Washington can't stop anything. So Ja should just go right to the cup every time. It'll be good there. What do you think, Mike, in this matchup?
Yeah, I didn't think you guys were going to pick the Grizzlies, so I thought I was going to be alone on this, but I'm going Grizzlies. I think it's going to be like a 40-point game by Ja, 55-point game for Beal, and a loss.
The funny thing is like that is realistic on the Beal part. Like, I mean on the Morant part too, but like Beal. Yeah, how many 50-point losses can you have in your?
He probably holds the record.
He definitely does.
Him or T-Mac.
I forgot what. I think they've lost 11 or 12 straight when he scored 40. I thought I saw that stat.
That's great. I would love to be him.
He always does that in games where they're just getting crushed, and he's just like coming down and just like trying everything to bring them
and
back.
It's efficient too. It's not like he's missing and shit. It's
because if you look at their team, I mean, besides Hachimura, I don't think anybody else probably plays any defense. I mean, that's the biggest problem. You know, Robin Lopez, what's he stopping everyone down low?
I mean, even to be fair, Beal doesn't play much defense.
No. But I mean, he obviously
Robin Lopez is getting ready for his WWE career.
Yeah, that's gonna be
the former New York Knicks great.
Him and Jerome James.
You think those jerseys are going up in Madison Square Garden?
Oh yeah, Jerome James, so. Eddie Curry,
42.
And
I think
Lopez.
Jerome James wore.
And then another game tonight. The other game tonight.
Reese, welcome Reese
on NBA TV. So this is actually a national broadcast.
Okay.
We have the Spurs coming in after a surprising first half, finishing 18-14. They traveled to Dallas, against the Mavs, 18-16, and we saw
welcome
the
back
Mavs get off to that tough start, really pick it up. So you would think, just looking at this on paper, that this would be a pretty close, game here.
Yeah, I mean, I think this game is going to be a dogfight. Dallas is hot; they want to get that momentum going too for the second half of the season. Luka's been playing like crazy, and like you said, he got a few days to rest. He's going to be fresh. But this Spurs team, I mean, it must be the Popovich effect or something, but they're hard to beat. They win games, and these young guys, they're playing. I mean, it seems like they got most of their guys back. They're healthy. I mean, I expect this to be a close one. I think the Mavs are going to win.
Yeah.
I'm going with Luka, but I think the Spurs are going to, they're going to fight hard tonight. They're going to lead this. They're going to make the playoffs this year.
Yeah.
And I would have never guessed that coming into the season.
I think they definitely they've played above their heads.
Yeah.
But a big part of this is Keldon Johnson, and we saw him miss some games with COVID. He's back, so I think he's the most important player on their team. And then also DeRozan. I mean, can he keep up a 20-7 pace? I mean, he hasn't been that type of player his whole career with the assists. I mean, he's never distributed that much. I mean,
relax. He's a professional.
I think DeRozan can keep this up. I think he's a 20 a night kind of guy. He's like that mid-range player, and the way the NBA kind of shaped now.
And the 7
we see so many guys that lead their team in scoring and assists because they play with the ball in their hands so much. Yeah, a guy like DeRozan, he's so good with the ball in his hand. He gets assists all game, just dishing out.
It's like about time, though. It's like this is who he should have been.
He like kind of did it in Toronto, but Kyle Lowry was the point guard.
Right.
Right.
And I was just surprised when he came over that they struggled. Like, last year they missed the playoffs for the first time in like 20 years. The year before,
the young boys were figuring it out, though. And what's his name was coming back off that ACL injury, their point guard.
DeJounte Murray.
DeJounte Murray. I love him.
Yeah.
I just wish I would love to see. Imagine I don't know the exact number, but I think Aldridge makes about 20 million or something.
I know it was
more
bad.
than that.
Imagine
30 something.
Imagine though if they had somebody else that was like even just like a little better.
Yeah.
I know. It's sad. They got him at the end of his prime.
Healthier.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I mean, in his prime in Portland, I mean, he was a
monster
great player.
I have dreams of him and Damian Lillard both being in Portland in their primes together
with Brandon Roy.
That's a championship team. Melo comes over.
Oh Lord.
It really is a shame. Brandon Roy, he really was one of my favorite players.
Me too.
Brandon Roy was like a do-it-all.
He would be like 16-5-8 through 3, and then in the fourth quarter drop like 12 straight on you, and that
seal the game.
Yeah, it's over.
Yeah, I liked his shot, and then he was just so physical driving to the basket too, which really just made him a tough, player to guard.
And now he's got like one of the best winning percsages in Washington basketball history.
He's the head coach of the high school.
He coached Michael Porter Jr.
Oh, okay.
Young Minnesota.
Kim Possible.
So I think honestly, the Spurs, of course, they've got a great system. We mentioned they've got some of the younger guys like Murray and Johnson. I mean, I think they're going to take a little step back in the second half, but of course, Pop's going to have them as competitive as they can be. And then Dallas, I really like this Dallas team, going forward. Luka's just been on a tear, averaging, over 30 points, over 7 boards, 7 assists on 51% shooting his last 10. I mean, what more could you ask for, from your star player? And then Porzingis, I mean, if he stays healthy, I mean, he's looked pretty good recently. 21.4 points per game, 8.4 rebounds, 41% from downtown. If he could keep that pace up, that's going to be a tough, 1-2 combo. And then Jalen Brunson, I mean, Gino's mentioned it a bunch. He's really played probably the best basketball of his career in the NBA.
Yeah, all three of those guys making a big impact. This team they don't really have any problems on offense.
No.
When Luka's playing like this, and Jalen Brunson's that second guy, takes the ball out of his hands. He could score a little bit. Josh Richardson does that as well. And you mentioned Porzingis finally playing well, but defensively they're going to struggle down low. Stopping people inside, even on the perimeter too. Hopefully, Josh Richardson kind of helps him out on the perimeter, but he's only one guy.
Yeah.
I think that's where the Mavs kind of struggle. I don't ever question this team on offense.
And then, the Tim Hardaway show, you never know what you're going to get.
Either 4 points or, 39.
And then, it would be interesting, too, if Drummond does get bought out. Imagine if he went to the Mavs, how much that would elevate them.
That would be big.
That would be a huge impact.
That'd be sick.
Yeah, like I would put them ahead of the Clippers if they got Drummond.
In a
honestly.
second.
Yeah,
so.
They almost beat him last year.
Yeah, I just don't like
Paul George.
There's a chemistry.
You don't like
there.
Paul.
And honestly, I think if they go first round out, I wouldn't be surprised if Ty Lue's one and done there. Honestly,
I don't think Ty Lue's a good coach.
When was he a good coach?
I don't know.
No, he just
coached
walked
LeBron
into
once.
he walked into LeBron.
Dude,
LeBron won a championship with Lou.
It's trash.
Trash.
So
I'll tell you one thing: the Spurs are winning this as much as you guys want the Mavs to. Sadly, Gino, I know you want them to win this,
Gino.
but I think the Spurs. I think the Spurs are going to come more ready post All-Star night weekend.
Yeah, I'm gonna still go with the Mavs here, and I think
No one cares.
Luka and KP combined for 70 in a 130-115 win.
That is funny.
You think it is be very close?
I think this game's gonna be a dogfight. It's gonna be tight, within 5 points. I'm giving Dallas 117-113.
Okay. Yeah, so that would be an exciting game to watch, and
You know what? DeRozan for 40.
wow, that would be making a statement coming out of the All-Star break.
I don't think he's done that in a while.
Yeah,
Well, get ready, buckle up.
I'm ready. Rudy Gay.
With only
boy.
with only 2 games on the schedule, hopefully both of these are exciting. And
Love Rudy.
and just one other point, just on kind of like games being on national TV and stuff. And I know, NBA TV puts out a good amount. Obviously, we have the TNT and ESPN packages, but I've always felt like they could still put more national games out there. And I think it would help. Of course, the NBA has a broader.
Well, you're not the average fan, Barnes. All right.
What do you mean by that?
Well, what do I mean
Barnes, you
by
have 4 TVs in one room?
Thank you. Yes.
Right, but I'm saying you shouldn't have to get NBA League Pass. There should be so many national televised games.
Okay. So you're looking out for the common man.
Yeah.
Okay, I respect
Because
that.
not everybody wants to drop that on League Pass.
You're right.
Yeah, I stopped.
So
I did
I
it
see
for
what you're
2
saying.
years.
Yeah, and
see what you're saying.
I think certain teams, it's not fair. I mean, of course, like a team like Minnesota, we don't really want to watch them, but
No.
it's not fair that they might only get 2 or 3 games, and the other teams get 20 on national TV.
Step up your
Yeah.
shit.
Plus, there are a lot of games where we even preview, and I'm like, oh, I want to watch this
And
game. And
then,
you go home, and it's like, shit, where is
League
it?
Pass.
League Pass.
So,
we got
I
a little. We have a little code.
I think on
We have
all,
the hookup.
We got-
all
we
of
got the hookup.
The normal schedules, like where you have 10 games. I think NBA TV should have the double header every time. Honestly,
Yeah, right.
And-
Why not? You're NBA TV.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Show us some games.
we don't want to see NBA game time.
We don't need any more of these shitty analysts
I don't care about them.
giving their
and
stupid opinion on these games.
I don't want to watch highlights all the time.
And speaking of one of your favorite analysts, Chris Webber
Oh.
was actually announced as one of the Hall of Fame finalists with Paul Pierce, another analyst, Chris Bosh, Big Ben Wallace,
Not Bosh.
and Michael Cooper from the Lakers back in what did we say, the 80s? 70s?
Showtime.
I think it was 80s,
80s.
late
He
80s,
played with
late
Magic.
80s. Yeah, he played with Magic.
I think he was there in the 70s too. Maybe should look that up.
So based, on those finalists, who do you think deserves to get in this year?
I'll tell you. Yeah, you go first, Grosso.
the most.
Yeah,
I know mine.
like
Ooh.
pick however.
I'll
many
go first.
You think.
I'll go
Oh,
first.
yeah, go ahead, Mike.
I'm gonna agree with you because I think I know who you're picking.
Let's hear it.
You ready?
Chris Paul.
No. Big Ben.
Big Ben.
It's about time Big Ben deserves some respect in this game.
Put some respect on his
I'd
name.
say he's probably top 25 centers ever in the league.
Ever.
Undersized as a big in a dominant center era. He took that team to 8 straight Eastern Conference championships. Well, they didn't win, but all of them, but they got there.
And they
They
won
fought.
the one championship against.
I'll take one
Lakers.
against
They
the
had,
Lakers.
they had a lot of success.
Championships
that
are
team.
tough to come by.
They are. And Big Ben, really showed that if you have heart, if you have grit, if you have major biceps and an afro the size of Mount Everest, you can be a great player in the league.
And a guy,
I
too,
agree.
that was undrafted. I mean, I don't know what school
Yeah.
it was, but he played it.
Yeah, some bootleg school.
He probably went to JUCO.
I mean,
You know
he-
what changed his career? The dunk. He was on the Wizards and he got dunked on by Kobe. Young Kobe.
Young
I'll
Kobe.
I'll play it for you guys. You guys keep talking. I'll play it for you in a sec.
And one thing too, I don't, of course the game's changed, since he's been, but I don't think we'll ever see a guy average that little per game, but play 35 minutes because he's averaging 16 rebounds a game at
Yeah.
6'8".
Yeah, the Ben Wallace was go set screens, don't touch the ball.
Yeah.
All your points are coming on putback dunks, but you're gonna play every minute because you're that good at everything else that you do. Even as like a terrible free throw shooter,
Yeah.
he'd be on the court at the end of the
But
game.
it doesn't matter. He's so
you're
good on
not.
defense.
Yeah, you're not taking
machine-
him off.
And as far as team defense, I mean, that Pistons team probably is the best defensive team in the last 20 years.
Yeah, I was gonna say at least that we've seen.
Yeah.
I love
and
that
his
team.
rim protection was the catalyst of that. I mean, Chauncey up front obviously played a huge part.
They all
but
became defensive players
they were
together.
all-
Rashid
even
played
Rip.
defense.
Yeah.
Rip played
And I
defense.
feel like
Tayshaun,
Rashid,
obviously.
before he came over, wasn't really that great on defense. All of a
No.
sudden, he's
Same-
popping threes, locking
Same with
guys
Rip
down.
Hamilton. They weren't defensive guys; they were scorers.
Yeah. And I think they had some streak. I don't know exactly what it was, but I think they let up under like 90, like 7-8 games in a row. Imagine a team doing that today. They can't even do it for 2
No,
games.
that would never happen in this
I
era.
think one of the Spurs Pistons finals was like 58-59, like at
There-
the end
yeah.
of the fourth.
there was.
Yeah. no, I
Imagine
mean,
that, man. That's like a half.
we're never gonna get
That's
to
an
that again.
average half.
We got the Big Ben.
Let's see it.
Let's see it.
This is what changed his
Oh,
career.
this is UNLV. Is that where he went?
Maybe actually, but no. This is Washington Wizards versus Lakers. 19-year-old Kobe Bryant. Ben Wallace comes in for help.
Here we got a dribble drive, change of direction by Bryant.
I think that's what the fans came to see. And you talk
That's
about
a throwdown.
elevation. Chick,
Oh,
he
my
went up
God.
to the rafters before he decided to put somebody on a poster.
Let's say it again.
We left the Mile
This
High
is
City,
recent.
Joe. Takes
Is
off
that
on
why
the
they're
dotted
playing where
line
they are?
and just keeps going and decides that
Rick Fox.
if you're going to stand there, I guess I'm going to make a
Oh,
poster.
that's at what
Nick
the
Van
Forum,
Exel?
right? Before they had the Staples Center, I think.
No, that looked like UNLV's
Oh, that was in Las Vegas. Okay.
because it said whack under the free throw.
Oh,
WAC.
Okay.
I don't know if that's the conference they're playing.
Wow.
I
Yeah,
don't know anything about
that
it.
was really something. But Mike, did you have?
Kobe Bean.
Okay. No.
What up, Matt?
While he's doing that, I will go with you. Who do you like in this group as far as finalists?
I mean, to be honest, the Basketball Hall of Fame, everyone pretty much gets in, like all the really good players. I think Chris Bosh deserves it more out of anyone on this list. I think he's the best player on this list. He was like a 25-10 guy in Toronto before going to Miami, where he kind of did take on, third fiddle, whatever you want to call it, behind LeBron and Dwayne Wade. But he got some championships in there.
Yeah.
Maybe I love Chris Webber's career. I mean, I don't like Chris Webber, but
I hate him as an analyst. I love him as a player.
Yeah, I love him as a player.
He was a great player.
And
He was
those
a great
Kings teams are some of my favorite teams of all time.
Some of our favorite
Stojakovic,
teams.
Stojakovic, Divac,
Bibby,
Doug Christie,
Dude,
Bobby Jackson off the bench.
Jackson.
Oh my
Jason
oh.
Williams was with that team
Dude,
before Bibby.
how good was Stojakovic from the corner?
He
Oh
never
my
missed.
dude. When he touched that ball, you just knew it was
Yeah, I can't
that's the
believe
sound of a net.
they never made the finals. Did they even make the conference
Well,
finals? One
yes.
year?
Well, relax.
They should have won the conference
They got
finals
robbed.
in 2002.
What's his name was refing
Tim
that
Donaghy?
game.
Tim Donaghy.
Okay.
It was the shot. It was the
Go watch that
it was the
YouTube.
tip out to Robert Ory,
Robert
Big Shot
Ory.
Bob,
Okay.
who you know isn't missing that.
Nah,
Never.
but there were so many foul calls on the Kings and no calls on the Lakers.
Yeah, it was bad.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. No, it's
And-
that whole thing. I don't even think we'll ever know the full extent of that.
No,
Ring or whatever you want to call it.
I have a feeling. stuff
No,
like
Matt,
that
he did
still-
not run into
still
Shaq
kinda
and
goes
Kobe.
on.
That should have been a loss for you guys, dude. Don't even start.
Get the hell out of here.
But so pretty much you're saying everybody here you think deserves to be in based on what we've seen over the last few years.
I mean, I love Ben Wallace too, so I'm a huge supporter of that. Michael Cooper, why did it take so long?
Yeah.
Like what?
He's got mad championships.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously. But the other two guys, like Pierce and Weber, like I love Weber as a player, hate him as an analyst.
Same
Paul
with Pierce.
I hate him as a player and an analyst.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, he does deserve to be in
He
that.
does deserve it. I mean, he did do
Very,
it.
very good isolation scorer, good leader for that team. And when he did get the help with KG and Ray Allen,
He was able to deliver. I mean, granted, they should have
Rondo
won.
as well.
They should have won again. They should have back-to-backed it if Kendrick Perkins didn't go down.
I mean, and also, you know, I'm with you guys. On the air, especially, I can't stand, you know, he's just so like cocky. He's just insane. And he just I feel like he's so jealous of all the guys playing now.
Pierce?
Yeah.
Well, both of them are too.
Yeah.
Weber's the same way.
Yeah.
All
Weber talks like he's an
Paul Pierce
NBA
does is talk
MVP.
about like himself compared to them.
Yeah. And remember, he was going heavy. I think it was last year that he was so much better than D Wade.
Yeah.
He was like laughing.
No, it wasn't
about
last year. It was 2 years ago during his retirement. He was
Okay.
like, I had a better career than Dwayne Wade.
Do you remember the Draymond Green quote to Paul Pierce? It was during the game. Pierce
I'll play it.
was sitting- Play it. Oh my god.
Yeah, I'll play
So
it.
funny. Have you seen this, Barnes?
No. But I'll tune into that.
But yeah, Paul Pierce, you're not as good as Dwayne Wade.
No.
Like you're not even in the
But
same conversation.
The thing I'll give him actually the most credit for, I mean, how about how he hit a game-winning shot for the Wizards in the playoffs? I mean, anybody who could do that deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Winning
Are you
the
ready?
playoff game
Listen
with the
to
Wizards
This is Paul Pierce's last year in the league.
Okay.
sitting on the
Well, they have lost 9 straight.
Chasing that farewell tour. They don't love you
All
like
blowing
that.
by 17, by 46, is at 144.98. Victory here in Oakland.
You thought he was Kobe?
but I love Draymond. I can't wait till Draymond Green retires and he's on
Oh.
TV. He's so right though.
Yeah.
Like, chasing that farewell.
He was,
tour.
dude.
You ain't Kobe.
If he was on the Celtics, it would have been different.
Yeah, that's one thing. But you're on the Clippers, bro. Like no one even knows you played on the Clippers.
Do you guys think there's any chance that Draymond will join the TNT boys?
Yeah.
Because he's always been called out, the triple single and everything.
Yo, Shaq
triple
was
single.
just like Draymond, bro. You don't know. Go watch the origin story of that. It's on there. It's on, television. They made it.
That would be
Dude,
a perfect fit for him.
Shaq came on after Charles was roasting him all the time. and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You don't think it's going to be
Yeah.
they want that.
No,
They
you're right.
want
And he
Draymond.
likes to go on there too.
Yeah. Every time if they're bounced, he's always there.
Dude, he has like an off day and he's like somehow on the air. He's like
Yeah.
mid-season and Draymond's on TNT set.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, they do a good job.
I used to not like Draymond Green too.
You know
Back in,
why?
the
Because,
Warriors
yeah,
dynasty and he
I
was
knew you
talking
wouldn't.
so much shit.
But dude,
But that's just like I
that.
always root for the underdog, and they were like,
But he's that
I love him,
same.
though.
But he's that player you don't want to go. You hate when he's not on your team, but you love him when he's on your team.
Yeah, he's that guy.
Yeah, no, I mean, he
The
was a big
epitome.
part of their, 3 championships for sure. And then, just before we move on from this too, we were talking about a little bit. Bosh, I mean, he probably would maybe still be in the league right now. It's really a shame what happened with that blood clot. I mean, he was so versatile, really getting that 3-point
He was one of the
game
first
late in his career.
One of the first bigs to do that. Dude.
Yeah, he was stretching out even from his rookie year. He could shoot it from like say 20 feet, which no bigs were really shooting.
Right.
He was not. I mean, he was not like your average big. That's why
Because he had the post game too.
and exactly. Especially in Toronto, he was so nice.
Oh yeah, and then in Miami, he was so selfless. You know what I mean? He wasn't complaining. Oh, I'm not scoring 20.
You never heard anything from
He
him.
went about his business.
Right?
Yeah,
he was like,
so-
dude, let's win
They
championship.
got rings because of that.
Yeah, exactly.
So I really hope he gets in for a shot.
Yeah, and he was still pretty young when that happened. Like early to mid 30s, I think he was.
Yeah, I think he was like 32, 33 or something.
He was in the prime of his career.
So it was obviously terrible to see that. And then just some other notes here. Today is actually 1 year since the shutdown of the NBA. How crazy is that?
Yeah, that is wild.
It's
supposed to be a couple weeks. Guys.
Yeah.
2 weeks.
And I mean, we saw, it seemed like the bubble, was relatively successful since they've started. I mean, we've had some guys obviously out with COVID, but overall, do you feel like they've done a good job managing throughout all this?
Yeah.
I think the NBA has.
NBA always leads the way.
Yeah, they've done a fantastic job. I mean, you knew it couldn't be perfect, and they were going to have to do things that not everyone was going to like, and it didn't really make sense. But
Yeah.
I mean, the NBA they've done a great job. Adam Silver's the best.
He is,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, like the NBA is the best league in the world.
Yo,
Yeah.
talk about
That's
like
facts.
not just from that standpoint, but you want to talk about basketball without borders.
Yeah.
You want to
Yeah.
talk about reaching people that the other leagues could never
No.
because they're
Yeah.
so stuck in their old ways. The NBA is always looking to grow and change and be better.
Basketball's creeping up on soccer as
Global.
popularity
Yeah.
globally.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
I know.
I don't know if it'll ever get there, but
Me either, but it could. I mean, it could. At this
that's
rate,
crazy to think.
it is
Yeah.
crazy to think.
And I think they, you know, if you think about all the sports, they have this the strongest partnership between owners, players, and commissioner.
There's a genuinely good relationship between all ranks of people in the NBA.
Well, I'll tell you why. The NBA is the only league that lets the stars or the players, any player, you don't even have to be a star, be your own brand.
Right.
Yeah.
You can go do whatever you want, market with whoever you want, get any endorsement deals with whoever you want, and just be a brand. Where the other leagues are kind of like tying you down to what
they
they're
fight
partnered with. Correct.
Because
Yeah.
all these guys have the star power to do it. I mean, the NBA maybe even more because cameras are right in their
And
faces,
and they don't have helmets.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the cameras are right. We know
Yeah.
what they look like.
Yeah.
If you see an NBA player in the streets, you're gonna know who
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
And like these guys, they started marketing themselves, and the owners just let it happen. They didn't fight back.
Mhm.
They're like, let these guys do their thing.
Makes us
football
more money.
players. Yeah, the NFL is gonna fight back. They want their cut. You know.
my
Oh,
God.
Oh, you want to start your own shoe brand? We
Those
want-
NFL owners are
Yeah,
so
they're
old
so
school.
greedy.
Oh, dude, it's terrible.
NBA is just
It's
like
terrible.
Fucking
they share
ride.
it.
Let it ride.
these players are making. We got some guys catching up to $50 million a year.
Yeah.
No,
Harden
seriously.
turned it down.
Yeah.
Yo, exactly, because he's making so much money
Yeah.
on endorsements.
Yeah,
He's like,
so
dude, I don't need
He's
it.
his own brand.
Yeah.
outside.
It's crazy
dude.
how much they make with their shoe deals, commercials, all
Dude,
that.
remember, and it's still a thing. Remember when like Chandler Parsons, remember him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember when he got his China shoe deal and like all these like, dude, these guys could be phenoms in China and make multi millions of dollars. There's not many other sports except for soccer that you could do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler's got a Chinese brand.
In Marbury, he has a statue.
Don't even
no,
get me started on
Marbury
Starberry.
is like a
You want
god
to talk
in
about a
China.
guy who understands humans?
Right.
$20 shoes, $5. What were
Yeah.
they?
They were
I
like
think-
$13.
The Starburys, and you
Yeah.
know what? I've had
Berries.
them. Yeah, Rick and Berries.
Rick and Berries. That
I
was
used
a
to buy the
great,
bootleg
great
North
store.
Face jacket.
Dude, I used to buy all
And I
the
loved all the college.
college. I was just gonna
Yeah,
say,
they all
yeah,
college.
Yeah, the
stuff.
jackets, the shirts, the
Oh
sweatshirts.
my God,
Shovel
for like-
Mall used to have it all.
right in the food court.
Yeah.
You go get your
Right in that
food, you
corner.
get your tummy full, and then you go get some clothes. You know what I
Go
mean?
Steal fake earrings from Clayus.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we used to
the
do.
good old days. The good old days.
That's funny.
And then also today's 10 years since cardiac Kemba. Isn't that
Oh my
crazy?
god!
You guys want to watch it?
Yes,
Yeah, we
please.
gotta
Keep
pull it.
This
talk
is
about
like-
it. Talk about it for a
We're
second.
from Connecticut, so like we don't have a pro sports team.
Yeah.
UConn basketball might be the closest thing we got.
Nothing.
Mainly
Might be-
the women's.
Yeah, I mean, we have the Sun, but you're right. UConn basketball in general is our
Yeah,
pros.
that's what we hold on to here is Connecticutans.
And I loved, all of their really championship runs, especially the last two, were unexpected.
yeah,
we
what
knew
were
the
they?
team was
8
good.
seed or
Yeah,
9 seed?
both runs with Kemba.
No, he
and
was a
with
9
Shabazz.
seed.
9 seed.
And it really was just so exciting, just watching every game.
Yeah.
There's just nothing like it when they're have
Kemba
a shot in the
Walker-
tournament.
Kemba Walker holds a spot in my heart forever because of this moment
Yeah.
and this whole run.
So this
We
was
got State Farm
I
guy.
think this was the quarterfinal in the Big East
This is
tournament
Pittsburgh,
against
right?
Pittsburgh. Yep.
Yeah, they're a 3 seed. The suspense is killing me. I just want to see it. Just a second, folks.
Wanamaker with 10 seconds to go. Coombs McDaniel on the screen. Walker with
What's he
7.
gonna do?
Mismatch.
Walker on
Send this
McGee
dude
with
in the
4.
paint.
Kemba Walker.
Woo!
Steps
Woo!
Walker.
Kemba!
Does it
What about Calhoun? The way he was getting
Look at Calhoun. He
little
celebrated
hopping step.
for 2 seconds, and then he noticed there's cameras and stopped.
Oh, man.
Oh, can we just run it back?
Seriously.
We can.
Just run it back.
And I mean, the Big East tournament starts today, so hopefully UConn makes another run in that at their first Big East tournament in 7-8 years
Yeah,
at
who's
least.
their guy? Book night.
Book night,
Book
yeah.
night.
Matt, while we get it up again, Matt says, Barnes, remember UConn in 14?
How could I ever forget? I mean, what a time, honestly. I don't think we have enough time for the stories of that championship run.
Wanamaker with 10 seconds to go. Coombs McDaniel on the screen. Walker with 7.
Got a mismatch.
Walker on McGee with 4. Kemba Walker. Step back. Walker. Cardiac.
See, this people weren't even doing step backs back then.
No.
That was impressive. And we saw UConn, this year they just rejoined the Big East. I mean, you can't completely rule out the fact that maybe some other teams in the future possibly could come back. I know odds are probably not, but you never know. I mean, we didn't think UConn would be back.
Yeah, I don't even know what you just said right there. I'm on a high from watching that.
I'm just saying I want all those schools back. I want UConn
the
playing
Big
Syracuse
East was so fun back then.
and
10, 15 years ago, 15, 20 years ago.
And then we have Corey Saccone, a loyal follower of the show, says that is such a classic UConn moment. They are running it back this season.
Let's go. I'm with you, Corey.
Love to
I'm
see
with
that.
you.
Corey, I have some inside info. Last year, right before the COVIDs, I was at the UConn facility, and I watched all these young bucks that you now see dominating. And I'm telling you right now, you're absolutely right. They are running it back. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go, baby.
Let's start with that automatic bid and just go from there. And I think they have a great coach, so I think they could definitely make a run here.
See how many games we can rattle off, UConn.
So we'll see what happens. Like I said, Big East tournament starts today. And then last night we had Gonzaga. They completed their pre-tournament season undefeated, down over 10 at half. I really want to see them run the table. I think that would be such a good story.
Yeah, I do.
Fuck that.
No, I do.
UConn, baby.
If UConn can't make it, a UConn-Gonzaga championship game would be out of this world.
All right, that's fine with me.
Buzzer
UConn
beater,
for the win.
UConn beating Gonzaga.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'll sign up for that.
The talk about Gonzaga is always their schedule is easy because they play in whatever conference they play in. But I think this team's legit.
Yeah.
Jalen Suggs is a beast. He'll probably be a top 3 pick, maybe top 4.
And Mark Few, he's one of the best coaches in the in college.
Yeah, Gonzaga's always good.
And I just always have wanted to see, because it just seems like it's never going to happen again. I think, what was it? UNLV, did they win the championship? They're probably the last mid-major, in the early 90s. Butler was a Gordon Hayward rim out away from winning it.
That was close.
That was crazy. I thought that was going to fall for sure.
Me too.
So it'd be interesting to see what happens there. And then all the other
Real quick though.
Yeah, go ahead.
Reese Fabiani. What do we think about the new Space Jam movie? Have you guys seen the photos yet?
I haven't even seen the photos.
Oh my gosh. All right, Reese, I got you, bud. I think it's gonna be amazing. Storyline, the storyline is basically it's interesting. Basically, something with his kid in a video game, and he gets teleported into the Looney Tunes world, and we gotta say I'm not gonna
yada yada yada
yada shish boom bada. But the CGI is epic. I think it's gonna be good. I'm hoping that they pay homage to the original. Hopefully, MJ makes a little guest appearance, and they're not telling us. That would be epic. I think it's gonna be good.
I'm pumped.
Yeah,
I'm pumped for it.
And you really hope, because a lot of times these sequels, they have a tough time following it up. If they could do a really good job with that, I mean, that would be amazing.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing like the original,
of course.
Right.
I think they're gonna put something pretty badass out.
So we'll see what happens there.
Not a fan of the jerseys though.
And then tomorrow, like I mentioned, I think on Monday, we have the Players Championship, which was actually, they played one round last year and then they were shut down because of COVID. So technically, McElroy, he gets to defend his 2019 championship. And then, I think we've seen a couple golfers, Rory included, Spieth and Tony Finau. They're all on these long streaks without a championship. I think one of them will end up winning this tournament, and I can't wait to watch it. I think there's going to be thousands upon thousands of golf balls lost on 17 with that island green. So, you always look forward to that, and we'll see what happens there.
Going with Shooter McGavin on that one. I think Shooter's he's gonna pull through. He's been on hiatus for a little bit.
But also too, with the nice weather today, we're getting real close to us getting out on the golf course, which I cannot wait.
It's gonna be 70 degrees on Friday.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So let's go. Pumped for that. And then, just some other news here. The NHL just announced today they're back on ESPN, 7-year deal. I think that's great for the NHL.
I don't know anything about hockey. I don't know that many players, but I love watching hockey. It's fun as hell to watch. Mm-hmm. So I think ESPN, let's go.
I think this will definitely help the sport grow.
I know Tony's pumped.
Oh, yeah. Tony. And that's the thing. We're going to have it covered. Tony's going to talk all about it, folks.
Tony's definitely.
And I think, too, it just, people that always kind of watch ESPN, they're going to just by accident start watching it. And I think that's what will help. And I think ESPN, they have to be one of the highest streamed, networks out there on the app and stuff. So I just think there's more opportunity.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Scrolling through the TV and you stop on ESPN. How many times do you just stop on ESPN and just whatever's background? Now you have hockey games in the background. You're like, this is actually good.
And we know Barry Melrose has to be pumped.
Oh, yeah. Barry Melrose is going to be making his appearance on SportsCenter a lot.
With Linda Cohn.
Yes.
And then also one other news item that I saw today, the XFL, who The Rock just purchased from, Vince McMahon, is considering a merger with the CFL.
Wow.
What's that going to look like?
I think it's fun.
I'll tell you right now, if there's anyone that can make this excellent, epic, and extra awesome, I was trying to do all E's.
Ran out of ease.
Yeah, it's The Rock, and I think this is going to be professional, but a little bit of a twist on your normal average NFL game.
Yeah, I think it's going to have. There's going to be something fun. This isn't just going to be straight football, but I think you're going to need football talent to play. This is going to be real shit.
And I think they were on their way before the shutdown last year. Those games, you had them all on ESPN, Fox. Those were kind of exciting.
Gaining momentum. Yeah, I think this is big.
Yeah.
I like it.
And it's kind of interesting, too, because the CFL, I think they're the oldest football league in the world, actually. So they've always had this kind of tradition, the 110-yard fields, the goalposts in the middle of the end zone. What is this going to look like? Yeah. I can't wait to see what the plans are.
And I love that The Rock is behind this. Guy that didn't quite make it to the NFL.
Yeah.
And we all know how much money he's probably got.
Yeah. So
I love The Rock.
I love The Rock.
Yeah.
I'll vote for him.
He's our Beyonce. He's the male Beyonce for us.
He really is.
He is.
He needs a song.
Yeah. So, hopefully that works out.
We'll work on it.
Before
come out with a song.
So
sing it.
Before we wrap it up here today, anything else anybody wants to add, in their closing remarks here?
Just continue to tune in, guys. We thank you. Keep liking, subbing, sharing, following, tell your family, tell your friends. And also, NBA 2K League, the 14th, get ready.
All right. So that'll do it for another edition of the Sports Port. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again tomorrow.
Yeah, and if anyone knows where to get a PS5 or Xbox X for regular price, let us know.
Let us know.
So we could actually play 2K?
Let's do it.
That'd be fun.